Greetings, I'm Christopher Logan Hilt, and today on From the Hilt we are taking a look at the Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures Enhanced Edition and how it differs from the Light Edition. Throughout the video we'll be referring to the Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures as LFA, or simply the Enhanced Edition or Light Edition. This is a copy of the Light Edition, and we'll be talking quite a bit about it as we go over the differences between the two editions. As far as the two systems are concerned, the main difference is that it's basically the same system, only the Light Edition is all in this one volume with 4 mini books, and the Enhanced Edition separates all the books. Like there is, for starters, the two first books coming out in the main core system is the Lenharrow Player's Guide and the Lenharrow Referee's Guide, which we'll be taking a bit of a look at today as like an advanced preview. It will be released here at the end of June and in 2023 by the 28th. So let's take a look first at the Lenharrow Player's Guide. Okay, this is the same cover as the Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures. The Tiger was working on an update, and she may get that done here before release date, but possibly not. So we may have to just go with this and have the two different covers. I do have an updated version of this with it saying Enhanced Edition at the bottom, and it also said for the Light Edition I have an updated cover that says Light Edition at the bottom. So that would be how you differentiate those. And as soon as I can get that updated cover, I will update it on both Amazon and DriveThruRPG, which this is available in a PDF on DriveThruRPG right now. As it is also available on Amazon as a hardback, but that book is pretty expensive because of the way Amazon does things, and their print cost is, and they just even raised it, so it's even higher right now. This is your basic information. We go through pretty much the same stuff that's in the LPG Light Edition, the mini book in the LFA Light Edition. But then we go over the character creation steps, which although we have a lot more, we have more races and stuff. So I know I'm kind of scrolling over this real quick because I wanted to jump into the real difference. As I said, there are a lot more races, but the main difference is that there are a few different more lifestyles, and that the lifestyles, we also have professions that can be purchased for each lifestyle type. There are also general professions and dedicated lifestyles which focus on one skill type. There's also one dedicated lifestyle that focuses on all 5 different skill types. So that's pretty cool, and we call that a skill tech. But the main difference in the ability scores is that we don't just stop at like 20 or 21. We go all the way up to 30 for all 6 skills. And I better put on my glasses here so I can see what we're both looking at. Okay, yes, that's better. Okay, we've got, like I said, the agility. It goes all the way up to 30, which is basically for the more powerful characters that go beyond the basic game. We do things by ASR, and as stated in the Light Edition, there's no level in Lenharrow. We go by milestones and let you spend your skills, your CGPs on skills as you see fit. Well, within reason and the scope of your referee's rules. Like I said, each of the ability scores go up to 30, and then the power score that we take that all the way up to 180. So it helps, you get more faith points, more talents, and your base AR continues to go up, and your healing rate goes up, and your hit points per increase goes up. Also, whatever your starting power score is, your starting hit points is also adjusted. Now, referees may allow or not allow that when you increase your ability scores and your power score actually manages to go up, they may allow you to add these to your total hit points. I don't. As a ref, whatever the starting hit points are is what your starting hit points are, and then whatever your increases are is what you get throughout the gameplay. Now, ASR is Adventure Status Rating, and it starts at your basic games, which is pretty much everything that's Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures. Any basic game can be played with Lenharrow Fantasy Adventures, the Light Edition. And then the enhanced game, you can play any of the ASRs, which continue on into intermediate, advanced. And then with the enhanced edition, we also have a lesser category and a greater category, which starts with starting characters. And that's sort of in the light edition as well, but not really. We go over that really succinctly in the LRG. Now, with the Beyond the Advanced, we also have a category that we like to call Epic, which is reserved exclusively for something we call Advanced Lifestyles. But we'll get into that another time, because that is a whole other book that we add to the game system as a player's accessory, which isn't going to be out for another year. So we won't talk about that yet. So then we continue on with the steps of character creation, just like we do in the Light Edition. But we get into a little bit more detail in the Enhanced Edition, naturally. We have all the bonuses here for all the new races and stuff. Now, the Light Edition has the 10 basic races, and we add a whole lot more in the Enhanced Edition. And that's one of the major complaints we've got, is there's too many options for the Enhanced Edition. So, which is why I decided to cut it down into a Light Edition. But I digress. I like options, so I hope you like options. Okay, character generation points. Now, in the Light Edition, we had one chart for both the bonus racial points, or BRPs, or burps as we like to call them. And we also had, on that same chart, a bonus lifestyle points chart, or blips as we like to call them. But we separated the burps and blips into two different charts in the Enhanced Edition, because of all the extra races. We have a lot, and all the extra lifestyles as well. Now, we have a lot more art in this book. I wanted a lot more, but I put in what I could of the Tiger's artwork. We go into how skills and talents work and how you purchase and choose those. Now, the main differences in between the Light and the Enhanced Edition is the skills. We have a lot more for every category. So they each get their own page instead of some of them being combined on one page. So like you have the Universal, now we have the Arcade, and in the Enhanced Edition we add imbued powers. And I don't remember whether we had the quick spells in the Light Edition or not, but so we have quick spells and imbued powers, which are something that arcane spellcasters can acquire. For combat skills, again, we have a lot more. But when I actually release each of these books, the LPG and the LRG, I'll do a more thorough overview. So this is kind of a quick look, sneak peek, if you will. The divine skills, we add a lot more granted powers. The divine skill, divine servants. That's their big deal, is the granted powers. So we definitely added a bunch more. For guild skills, same. We added a bunch more percentage skills. I'm not sure which ones are in the Enhanced and the Light Edition, but we also added archery to the Enhanced Edition, and we added more. I think we added more smithing skills as well, and maybe some more trade skills. But I'm pretty sure the trade skills were all set in both the Light and the Enhanced Edition. But the newest thing in the Enhanced Edition is the martial arts skills, which this is a comprehensive martial art system that it does include martial art weapon usage. This doesn't have to be a martial art weapon. It's just whatever the martial artist focuses on as their their prime weapon, as it were. And then martial artists get something called discipline, which uses mainly their chi or their spirit energy, or as we have condensed it down, a lot of this is force attack. Like a chi punch is a force attack, which I'll get into when we look at the ref's guide here. Now the talents, that's the same. I'm pretty sure that everything that's a talent in the light edition is a talent in the enhanced edition. Then, like I said, we continue on with the character creation, and we're going to do I'm going to do a review of the Lenharrow Characters Companion, which will be out in July. And the other thing we add to this is we do a big thing on starting funds and what the new races add to that. We again, like I said, we have everything that's in the light edition. Most likely can be found in the enhanced edition. Purchasing and determining gear and defensive rating. Now, to the weapons, we have added a lot more weapons. We have, instead of just one page, we have 3 pages of weapons to choose from. So, in the enhanced edition, we have a lot more for the player to choose from, which is what we like to do, is give a lot of options. Now, the armor is pretty much the same. I think we added like dragon scale and a few other things, but for the most part, the standard armors are the same. But as I said, there are certain differences that we may have taken out of the enhanced edition to make the light edition, because we actually started with the enhanced edition and condensed it down to the light edition. So a lot of what is supposed to be just enhanced could be found in the light edition as well. Now, the gear chart is pretty much the same. The major difference is the lifestyle packs. We added the new lifestyles to that list. And we might have, I'm pretty sure that the gear chart is, other than that, the same. Now, we also have the standard lifestyle equipment packs, which are in the light edition, and we added the new lifestyles to that, the martial artist pack, and a religious man or priest pack, adventurers or generic pack, the bounty hunters or guildsman pack, soldier or combatants pack. Those are the same. We didn't bother making new packs for something that's pretty much going to be the same. The only new pack is the martial artist pack, but we did update that, make sure that everything was there for that, and we further detailed the spells all the way up to casting level 30, which would be a casting rank of 10. Which, yes, we expand the both spell list for the arcane and the divine all the way up to 10th rank, and go into a bit more detail on how not how the spells work, but we add a lot more spells so that each page, for like here we have a standard arcane spells, the elemental field or E field has spells all the way up to 10th rank instead of stopping at 3rd and 5th edition. In 5th edition, excuse me. In the LRG section of the light edition, we have the spells expanded up to 5th rank in the referee's guide. However, there are more spells found here in the enhanced edition that are even in the referee's guide. So, looking at that, you can see that we've expanded these charts considerably so that players have access to more examples of what the spell should be like, and referees can use the charts found in the LPG, and they are no longer in the ref section, because the expanded spells, because there are no expanded spells. They're all just part of the enhanced edition. And then we do the same for the divine spells, naturally. And we go over combat just as we did in the... well, that's a jump. We go over combat just the same as we did in the light edition. I don't think that this is any different, except we add a few more things to it. We expanded it by having some more examples from the point of view of a character, and we were just being silly and trying to be kind of funny, but that's up for you to decide whether you find it amusing or whether you find it annoying. So the reason why I took it out is because I found it a little bit to be a little annoying to myself, even though I wrote it. But other people liked it and asked me to keep it in the system, so I did. We had, I don't know if combo attacks I don't think so. I don't think the combo attacks are in the light edition, but we go over that for the player, also as well as martial arts combat and how all that works in the enhanced edition. So that is something that we did add here, and I'm pretty sure the spell combat is the same, although we expanded a little bit, maybe. Like I said, I'm not sure what we took out, but then we get into races, and we have heightened senses, just as before. I'm pretty sure we had racial traits. What we did add to the enhanced edition is racial skills. For the elves, as a starting character, you could purchase Elven Bowman or Falana's Blessing. These are relatively expensive for a starting character, but it's what makes that starting character who and what they are. So it adds a little bit to that character. It makes them more, in this case, like an elf. It would make them a little more elven than they are less fairy folk. This makes them more to adhere to their racial type. Like Drolls have magical ties or a superior breath weapon. Dwarves get the Dwarven Goblin Smasher magic bane that they can purchase. We add stuff for each and every race, and then we also have some general ones that any race can purchase. So I'm just going to skip over that real quick because it's just the descriptions for those. And like I said, I'm going to do an overview of the LPG, so I didn't want to really go into a lot of detail in this video. The animate attack chart includes all the new animate types. We added quite a few new animal families. The major difference is we also added to the animate something we call Trollman. I'm pretty sure that wasn't in the light edition, but I could be wrong about that. I could look it up real quick, but I'm pretty sure that I didn't put that in there because I had 10 standard animate family types, but we added a bunch, and like I said, we added some more art. Now, the major difference with the rest of the races is that, like for arachnoids, we have scorpions and spiderians. What we added to this was extra types. We have the common scorpion, which is the one found in the light edition, and then we added the whip scorpion to the scorpion types. And then we have your common Spiderian, again found in the light edition. Anytime it's a common, that's the one found in the light edition. We also added the Tarantulan and the Wanderian to Spiderians. And then we move on to Drolls. Drolls are pretty much the same. The only difference is we added a lot more terrain types and expanded the charts for those new terrain types, and added a Lake Droll, which has a prismatic breath weapon, which has a random effect instead of just a standard effect of the breath weapon. Now, and for the rest of the main races found in the light edition, we also added, like I said, we added some new sub-races. Like the common dwarf, we've defined as a hill dwarf in the enhanced edition. And we added Arctic dwarf, deep dwarf, mountain dwarf, and valley dwarf. And then for elves, your common elf is your valley elf. And we added a deep elf, which in a lot of other systems they call drow. I prefer drow. A lot of people prefer drow. I didn't like either one, really, so we're going to let the referee call their deep elves whatever they want. We typically just call them deep elves in Lenharrow, but they also are known as black elves or dark elves. We also have frost elves, highborn elves, and sylvan elves. Frost elves kind of have a blue tint to their skin. We've added gargoyles, and there are 5 types of gargoyles, very similar to the animated series of the same name, but we've made them quite different. And we base them on the size category. So we have 5 different types of gargoyles you can play. And we have our guards, which start with the common red guard, but we have also added new skin colors to guards. There's the black guard, the blue guard, the gold guard, and the white guard, and this is basically just the pigmentation of their skin. But they have different abilities based on that. It's a little more complicated, but definitely worth it if you want more options as a player for what you can create as a character. For the Giantines, we have your Valley Giantine as your common. We've added your Barbarian Giantine, your Forest Giantine, Frost Giantine, and Mountain Giantine. For gnomes, we even put in stuff like comish gnomish nicknames and stuff like that. We just add a lot of stuff just to enhance your game. Your common gnome is a forest gnome. Then we have an Arctic gnome, gnome healer, mine gnome, mountain gnome. Now for these, as a ref, you can call them whatever you want. And even in Lenharrow, certain different, based on where they live, they are called different things. Like in the Realms of the South, we have a group of elves that call themselves the Bellatir, because in elves, a tier, just tier, is elven, elf, or, just that's their word for their own people. For the gnomes, we have the common gnome, like I said, the Arctic gnome, the gnome healer, mine gnome, mountain gnomes. Mountain gnomes, let me see, that was the mine gnome. Mine gnomes are also known as Tommy knockers, and some people might be familiar with that type of gnome, but we included those in here as well. Grimnillions is something we added to the game. They're like mystical creatures that are humanoid in nature. We took a griffin and made a griffinite out of it. Owlbear, and we made an Oberol, Pegasite, a Pegasus man, Sphinxian is a Sphinx man, Unicide is a unicorn man. The creature guide, actually, when that comes out, there's actually a few more there, and refs can convert those to make them into characters as well. And we have this large section on half-breeds. Half-breeds are like your half-elf and stuff like that. It's basically something that is of 2 races, a character that is of 2 races instead of 1. Where they had elf parent and a human parent, they would be a half-elf. Your common half-elf is your human elf. And we have like a Garl, as these are examples of half-breeds you could create. The Garl is a dwarf gnome. The Gelfling is an elf halfling. The Gnomeling is a gnome halfling. A midman is a dwarf human. There are certain types that we don't allow, and the gist of it, like I said, we'll go over in the main LPG overview. For halflings, we have your common halfling still, and we've deferred to them as a hill halfling, your standard hill dwelling halflings, your hobbits, as it were. Your city halfling, your Daedros halfling. Now, Daedros halfling are kind of like most of these beings tend to be evil and work in dark places, so it's kind of like a dark halfling. Something I had in my some of my novels and stories for a long time, and everybody wanted me to add that to the game system by gamers, so I did. River halfling is one of my favorite halflings to play. A lot of halflings live by the river. A lot of other halfling types are afraid of the water, but the ones that aren't are considered river halflings generally. Then you have your Shireborn halfling, which is a more in-depth type of halfling. For humans, we've added, you have the standard common. We've added an Arctic human, colossal human. Colossal humans basically take their ability scores and tweak them. We take the racial skill and ability score tweaking and really do a lot with that as a race for a human. We also have deep humans or darklings. And then we have pygmies, and we have some examples of pygmies. Pygmies are just humans with mixed ancestry. And like a noob has gnomish ancestry. Helmet has halfling ancestry. Peck has dwarvish ancestry. So we gave 3 examples of the smaller races mixing with humans. Then we go into lifestyles, and like I said, the main thing that we added was the professions. and each lifestyle has a bunch of new professions. We added the Wanderlust hindrance as well. That's something you can take and just automatically add 500 CGPs to your starting character. However, it comes with its drawbacks. So if your character is a barbarian and wants to roam around, that's a good one to take. Now, each of the standard lifestyles is still included here, but like I said, we have added a bunch of professions for each one. It was either 10 or 12. I'm pretty sure it was 12. The Adrenaline Junkie, like I said, these are some of the professions, and I'm not going to go over all of them because it'd be way too much. And I want to do that in the overview, but I wanted to give you the gist of what makes a profession a little different sometimes. Is that sometimes they swap out their skills alignment. They swap out one skill for another type. Like the Fortune Teller swaps out martial arts for divine. Also, each of the Enhanced Edition lifestyles, we added the martial art skill set to this skills alignment listing. So like I said, we'll go over this really quick. Just as a kind of a sneak peek for each one. The bounty hunters are the same until you look at the professions, and then, of course, this is where you get your more stylized or focused bounty hunter types. The main bounty hunter type is your let's see here, the specialist, which the specialist has like quite a few different types that are just dedicated to certain things within a guild. Then we have your Mystic and Persuader. These are definitely some cool professions. The Mystic especially, a lot of people like to play. We have your Common Laborers, which then we go into the professions. You can scan those real quick if you like. Like I said, I just kind of wanted to go over this. I'm not really going to... Once I get past the lifestyles, I'm going to show a little bit about the dedicated lifestyles and the general professions so that you can see the difference. But other than that, it's pretty much just the descriptions for the skills and the talents after that. So we're not going to go into that. We'll skip over to the LRG because we don't want this video to be super long. But we'll look at these real quick. Oh, the other thing with Religious Man that we added to the Enhanced Edition is types of priesthoods. We went into detail on those. We have a circle, council, a cult, a militant order, a theocracy, none or no religious order, and what deities in Lenharrow adhere to those. We list those right here. Now, as a ref, you can swap this up and you can have a deity have a different type of priesthood. That's all good. It happens. Then we have the religious orders chart, which if they pick a deity and they're a religious man or a priest, they have to adhere to the hindrances and the armor and weapons hindrances. Like say they choose Lenharrow, the Lady of Light. They cannot wear dark clothing, and they can use any weapon, but they can use bludgeoning. They can use any armor, but have to use bludgeoning weapons. I'm sorry, that's the way that works. Armor and weapons. So the armor, most of them can use any armor, but there are some of them that, for Graham, the Animal Lord, he has any non-animal based armors that you can wear. So. Or Darlene and dancing, no heavy armor and any weapons. It depends. And refs can be more strict if they want on that. I'm not really as a ref, but it's your game. If you want to run it and make priesthoods more strict, you can do so. And then we have the Religious Man professions. And like I said, I'm just going to go through this real quick, and you can either pause it or just look at it as we go by. So that's something I really want to get into, but I have expanded the from the light edition. The lifestyle section is enormous compared to what it was in the light edition. with all the professions and the general professions and dedicated lifestyles. Uh, like a soldier is pretty much the same. Like I said, I really didn't want to go over all that. I keep kicking a dead horse here because this is a lot bigger than I remember, and I should have set up a chapter skip and looked at this in the as a PDF. But you know, Gen X brain, as Bear would say. Uh, so there's your tradesmen and the types of tradesmen. But this is what I wanted to look at: the dedicated lifestyles, which, like I said, focuses on a single skill. For all of them but one, you have your combatant, which focuses on combat. Guildsman, which focuses on just guild skills. Your Invoker, which focuses on just arcane skills. Priest focuses just on the divine. And each one of these gets its own special skills, like go back up here real quick to the combatant. The combatant gets weapon categories that they could just spend a small amount of CGPs and get the entire weapon category. Guildsmen get the guilds of perception skill, which allows for them to the character can increase their insight by normal means, or the player can increase their perception by 1%. The way perception works is a guildsman enters any situation and states that they're making a perception check, and rolls their perception, and if successful, the ref informs them if there is something in the area that would require a guild skills percentage check. So basically, it's a way for guildsmen to go, hey, can I use my skills in this situation? And instead of trying to figure it out on their own, they can just ask the ref, and if they make their percentage, the ref, in most situations, would answer. Refs can be a little mean on that sometimes if they want to be. But I'm not. I generally would answer that question. It's, you know, if they take the time to have that skill, then you should let them use it. Invokers, like I said, for the arcade, they have the bonus spell slots per casting rank. They also get sub-filled specialties, which enhance their spells in certain sub-fields. Like if you take earth or air or fire or water, your spells are better or enhanced a little bit. Then you have the priest, and we give them the divine combat spell. Now, all arcade casters in the enhanced edition have access to arcane combat, which makes it so they can cast more than one spell in a single combat round. There are certain rules regarding that in the rest guide, but we'll get into that when I do an overview of the LRG. Now, like for the religious man, we had a bonus chart, a hindrance chart. What we have here is a bonus chart for them being a priest of that of that particular deity. Then we have the dedicated martial artist and the skill tech, who actually focuses on all the skills, and it makes it so they have to purchase things at all skills at half. However, they have access to everything, and they have their own system of doing things. It's kind of cool. And like I said, when I do the overview of the LRG, I'll really go into it. And then we added the general professions. We have the Aboriginal inhabitant. These are things that characters can earn over the course of adventuring and don't start with for the most part. Now, some of these they can start with, like they can start as a gypsy, but if you want to become a gypsy, you can become a gypsy. It's up to the ref whether they can start this way or not. Like in Dwarf Elf, which is a nation in Loire, Northern Loire, we have something called an SIM agent, and we have that profession in here. Phantom Talon, and basically we have the requirements listed on how to obtain this general profession, or how to earn it through roleplay. There's no purchasing, and then like I said, we go into the skills. I'm not gonna really go over that because it's just a description. So from there we'll skip over to the ref's guide, and like I said, I just want to point out the differences in the light edition and the enhanced edition in this video. I'm pretty sure the introduction is mostly the same. I have a massive abbreviations list. I do that in a lot of the books because I I hate writing things over and over again as I write, so I use a lot of abbreviations. And basically, it's like in the light edition. The chapter 1 is the referee's playbook, and it lets refs. It gives refs ideas on how to run a game, and gives them the general rules that we use in Lenharrow. Refs can adjust this as they see fit, as we stated in the light edition. It's the same in the enhanced edition. Use it or not use it at your whim. Got a major section on awarding faith points, how to possibly purchase faith points, a bit on talent slots and talent slot cost. I try to give a lot more detail in the enhanced edition on how the game actually works. I definitely have a larger section on awarding CGPs and how to help players purchase skills and talents. We also have the ref could optionally allow players to purchase hit points instead of earn them through increases. So we give other options. Like I said, Lenharrow is all about options, and that's what we really wanted to go over in this video was the difference, like I said, the difference between the light and the enhanced edition and how many options that the enhanced edition has. Whereas the light edition is pretty focused, which is what we're going for, simple and basic. That's what we're going for in the light edition. And for the enhanced edition, we're going for the opposite. Everything and anything we can put into the game, that's in the enhanced edition. I have a big chart on how to award CGPs, what to award for, and based on the power class of the game. And like I said, I went into the starting PCs, basic, intermediate, and advanced, and beyond that, if you during Epic Games, refs can pretty much give out whatever CGP awards they want. This is something found in the creature guide, but I put it in the rest guide as well to give the referee ideas on how to award CGPs for creatures. And I got a size comparison chart. It's the same chart that you're going to find in the creature guide that's going to come out in July. Then I have ideas on how to help the ref assist players in creating their characters. And then the general professions each come with an advanced lifestyle skills. If you don't use advanced lifestyle skills, you can still use those skills for those general professions. And we put the descriptions here. These descriptions are, again, going to be in the advanced lifestyles guide, but we throw them in here so the ref can use them or not use them. And then we have a massive and comprehensive section on how to run combat for the ref in the enhanced edition. Most of this, and in fact all of this, is still in the light edition, but we go into more detail. We add a lot more stuff to the enhanced edition. We go into force attacks and how all that works, and we have anything that's a force, considered a force attack or a force spell. The force spell list we have here. Any spell that's considered a force spell, we put here on this chart for the ref to look and go, yep, that's a force spell. Force also could cause impact damage, and if you're familiar with the light edition, then you know that the impact damage can paralyze somebody if they fail their resistance roll. So it can come into play quite a bit, actually. And then I like we did in the light edition, we go over all the basic attack types. I know that we went into detail on the missile ranges by might, but I'm not sure if we put that in the light edition or not, but that's in here for sure. I'm pretty sure a lot of this is the same, but like I said, we added a lot more. Like for the toxins, we went all the way up to Power Class 25, which is what our creature guide goes up to in the enhanced edition. So we've upped everything to make sure that this, for the enhanced edition, it fits the enhanced edition, and then for the light edition, we tried to make everything fit for the light edition. Now, as I said, we probably included a lot of the enhanced edition stuff in the light edition, but that's okay. Like I said, refs can use what they want or not use on their whim. We throw in, like I said, combo attacks we had in the LPG, but we go into a little bit more detail, or the same detail, whatever works. We go to what we call non-talented weapon use. If somebody doesn't know how to use a weapon, then they have penalties, and we use that here. Now, Again, this is optional. Refs can use any of this or not at their whim. Item resistance rolls, I use this quite a bit. It makes things a lot easier, especially when somebody's trying to do something with an item that it's not supposed to do. Like, I'm going to take this wooden stick and try to pry an iron-bound door open. Well, does the stick break? It may just pop out. It could survive the attack and damage the player, stress the player is putting on it. But that's what this is for. We go to the armor type. So we add quite a bit more rare and exotic armors and rare defensive armors. And we have a chart for that to add to that found in the LPG. And that's your major difference here in the enhanced edition as opposed to the light edition. Now, the bigger thing about the bigger difference in the rest guide is not only do we give campaigning advice and a little bit of information for Loer, but we also go into major details on other things in this refs guide. I'm going to skip over this a bit. Like we have a section on bonded mounts and familiars, but we're putting out a Lenharrow support characters book in August, and it has all of this stuff for followers and for bonded mounts. Familiars are kind of in there too, but we do enough detail in the rest guide that we don't have to add a lot to it in the support characters book. Then we do a little bit about guild followers and martial art followers. Again, we go into creating your own RPCs and how the adventure status or ASR and gameplay works, and how to determine where a character fits in all of that. Then we do a bit on the creature types of Lenharrow, and we break them down into your three basic types: your humanoids, your monsters, and your undead. Now, we also put in here what falls under these categories. Then we have racial savage tribes of Loer, and we add a little bit about that. And then we go into the Lenharrow deities and the different types. We also add charts for the different pantheons and the different deities that we use in what we consider our standard order. Now, that's a kind of a sneak preview for the Deities Guide and the Haven's Road Adventures that's coming out. Haven's Road Adventures is the last book we're putting out here in 2023. That's going to come out in October. And the Deities Guide hopefully will come out in 2024. But that's a big book, and I'm still in the middle of writing it. So that's still taking some time. I've added a bunch of lore and stuff to the different deities, and we added a ton of deities to what we originally had in our campaign world. This is pretty much the same for the magic system. It tells the ref on how this works. We expand the summoning charts for monsters. We go all the way up to 10. We go all the way up to 9 hit degree. Instead of what was in the light edition, and we go into deep magic. And how the innate abilities work, which that's also in the light edition. But what we add to this is deep magic spellcasters. And if a ref wants to allow players to play a deep magic spellcaster, we've actually given them the example of the Crux Magus, which is basically a deep magic spellcaster that only uses deep magic. And all their spells, they have the spells just like arcane or divine casters, only they cast them as they would a deep magic innate ability. Then we have the innate abilities chart, and in the light edition we only had the basic in Appendix A, that was for magical devices. We don't start with that in the enhanced edition ref's guide. We start with the World Builder Matrix. Now, what was in the light edition, we had to put in there for random treasure determination. That isn't in the enhanced edition. For the enhanced edition, we actually have a separate referee accessory called the Lenharrow Encounters Guide, which has stuff to make a ref shield, so you can create your own ref shield or screen, depending on how you want to call it. Uh, Also has all the random treasure determination from power classes 1 to 20, 1 to 25. Plus we have a lot more stuff in the Lenharrow counter guide than we do in the light edition. Plus we have a bunch of random encounter charts and trip sheets for all the creatures found in the creature guide, which will come out in July. So the Lenharrow Encounters Guide will complement the Creatures Guide. But the appendices are what is really different in the enhanced edition of the LRG or Ref's Guide. It starts with a world builder matrix, and like I said, I'm going to do a comprehensive video on that when this book comes out. And basically, you can create an entire world with this random generator. Now, it starts out with the descriptions, and it goes over. Like I said, I'm going to skip over a lot of this because I don't really want to. I'm going to do an overview, so I don't really want to do too much in here. But I just want to give you the gist of, like I said, the differences in the light and enhanced edition. And this is the major difference in the systems. This not only does it has a wilderness builder. It has the entire world builder. You start with the wilderness, then it has a dungeon builder, and how all of that works. And then I put the charts all together in one spot, so you don't have to keep looking back and forth. So you can go on the wilderness builder chart, and you go from that, and it directs you to what other chart you need to go to when you roll, and then you go to the dungeon builder chart, and the dungeon builder chart also includes traps, and traps on doors and chests. And it also includes ASR determination and how to actually random dungeon generate if you really wanted to. But this is mainly so that a ref, if they really don't want to make things up, they can actually roll everything up and create their own world and their own dungeon. And then I go into terrain encounters. This is all part of the world builder. So we have random encounter charts in here. This is also going to be more detailed in the Lenharrow Encounters Guide. But basically, we give the ref a bunch of random encounter charts so that they can... in a lot of the adventures, too, we're going to give random encounter charts. But we put them in here so the ref could create their own adventures and roll up creatures completely at random based on the terrain. And then the page number here tells what page in the Lenharrow Creature Guide you could find this creature. Lenharrow Creature Guide, the abbreviation for that would be LCG. So if you need to look up a creature in the LCG, that's here. Now, the companion referee accessory, the Lenharrow Encounters Guide, or LEG, we're going to leg it. That has all the trip sheets for all of these creatures as well. So with all three of these books, the LRG, the LCG, and the LEG, a ref could run any game as quickly as they need to. Then I go into the treasure box matrix in Appendix B. Now this actually allows the ref to roll up magic devices. Again, this wasn't in the light edition, but it is in the enhanced edition. So this is just charts on how to create magic devices and roll them up randomly from scratch. Or it also can give you ideas on how to create your own magic devices, which is what I prefer to do myself. But there are times when we wanted to just random generate. Nobody wanted to run a game. We use these charts. It works. Referees make things work better, but it can be done without a ref. I do a bit on intelligent weapons and special devices and how they affect the game and the will of a weapon and how that works. Now, this is for old school gamers. This is old hat, and this also has to do with a lot of when your weapon is intelligent or cursed. This is the section that you want to look at here. And then like in the light edition, we have a bunch of descriptions for the magic devices that we use, and this is pretty much the same. But what is not the same and is the fact that beyond the magic devices, what we have in here, after this appendix and all the sections of that appendix, we have a mini adventure called The Trapdoor to Jeopardy. Now, this is a complete adventure with, if I remember correctly, 7 encounter areas, 70 encounter areas. And yeah, again, we have a big index, but I just kind of wanted to jump to the end here because I don't want to spoil the adventure. But yes, it has 70 encounter areas. Yeah, and then we have an ending, and that's basically how that works. So that's pretty much the gist of the whole the whole setup, the differences between the enhanced and the light edition. And I know I kind of fumbled around in this video, and I apologize, but I haven't exactly been feeling my best. Things are proceeding very fast for our Lenharrow game system. Like I said, it's available. The light edition is available on DriveThruRPG as a PDF now. It's also available on Amazon as a hardback. We are going to be releasing the enhanced edition by the 28th of June 2023, just this month, on Amazon in hardback form first, and I will get the PDFs available as quickly as possible. Now, Katie Robbins is actually working on a Kindle book for the light edition that's going to be added to Amazon. And if that is a lot cooler and nicer looking, then we'll probably make a PDF of that and swap it around. And then right now, it's you have to pay what you want on DriveThruRPG. That's not the same for the hardback. The hardback is the print cost is exceptionally high on that. The minimum I could charge for that is a little over $60, so I just set it at $65, which I find to be a bit pricey. I guess Amazon did too, because they've been selling it for like 41 and change or 42 and change or something like that. So and the book is available, and so is Low Air Solo Adventures, which this can be played with either the enhanced or the light edition. The first Keller Pass, there's 2 adventures in here. The Keller Pass adventure is compatible with both. Now, you can use a light edition character to play the intermediate adventure, the Gauntlet, in here, but it's really for the enhanced edition. So if you want to check all those out, that's the differences between the light and the enhanced edition. I hope I made sense in this video. I hope you enjoy the video. And with that all being said, Logan out.